Hey,
How's it
what's going
going?
on? Hey, how you doing?
Yeah, not too bad stuff.
Doing pretty good. Staying busy, you know?
That's it.
Yeah. How's
Especially coming up this time of year.
what's that?
Oh, especially coming up this time of year.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
It's early over here and just kind of, you know, trying to keep the juices flowing. So,
That's it. We just ticked over to 12 o'clock, so I'm on the 17th of the 11th now.
ah,
So
gotcha. Gotcha.
yeah.
Well, I'm glad you jumped on, and I'm kind of surprised you jumped on a little bit later. You
No,
know,
it's better kind of nighttime for me than daytime because I'm
fair,
teaching now in the daytime, so
fair
as well
enough.
as doing my music.
Fair enough. So, uh, for anybody that's kind of getting to meet you, kind of give us a brief rundown of who you are, what you're about, and like what got you into music and stuff like that.
Yeah, definitely. So my name's Ethan, stage name going by Orion, which is actually my middle name. Um, I've been working on a solo project over the last year, working on an album, dropped a couple of singles already. Just so I've come through from a few bands, rock, punk kind of background, and just moving forward into that alternate grunge with a bit of like an apocalyptic touch feel for the music. So
Awesome,
yeah.
awesome. And then, so with the new project Orion, how long have you been kind of working as under that project?
So kind of started off probably about 10 years ago, just as like
Okay.
a, fiddly around, get to play some stuff and write my own stuff without doing too
Mhm.
much with it.
Yeah.
Started taking it seriously over the last year and a half or so, really getting the tracks down and starting to like properly write and record and take it
Mm,
to places to get it pumped out there. So
nice. And who are you
yeah.
kind of listening to as you kind of explored this identity of Orion? Who are some of the influences?
Some of the biggest influence I've got. So I kind of have like a two-way side of this. I've got the
Mm,
full rock versions of the songs, and they're inspired by While She Sleeps, Rise Against,
mm,
Bad Omens, all the modern upcoming bands as well, some of the classics in the punk rock scene.
mhm.
But then on the flip side, I do these whiskey versions that are like acoustic and stripped back, and that's more like a neo acoustic. So looking at Noel Gunderson, Dermot Kennedy, more singer songwriter style, which is how the songs are actually developed. So,
Awesome,
yeah.
awesome. And then, you know, so taking a step back from like your current project,
Yeah.
what what was music like growing up for you? Was it something that your parents were pushing on you, or was it kind of always there?
For me, it was always there.
Okay,
I didn't really have anyone musical in my family at all. I had an
okay,
uncle who kind of came around and used to play guitar a little bit when I was a little kid. He used to play songs, Green Day, Time of Your Life, and whatnot to my older
yeah,
sister and I as we were growing up. But I didn't even get to see him too much. So it was kind of something like I'd listen to on the radio and I'd watch video hits and rage in the morning over here in Australia. And it was just like, it was this drive. Like every time I heard music, it just drove something in me to want to create and make it and just be a part of this community. So
gotcha,
be a part of
gotcha.
the art.
Awesome, awesome. And you you'd mentioned that so the Orion project has kind of been around for 10 years or so, and you've been really exploring it the last, sorry,
No, you're right.
year and a half.
Yeah.
Were you were doing like other projects before then, right? Were you doing like full band stuff or?
Yeah, yeah. So about 3 or 4 years ago, I was in a five-piece band called Red Door in Canberra, which we
Mm,
did an interview as well back in
yep,
2020 during the lockdowns with you guys.
yep,
Done a couple of grunge bands, nothing ever released or pumped out there as much as what we did with Red Door, but definitely kind of stepping stones to build up that level of experience and that level of understanding of the music industry and how to work and collaborate and whatnot.
yeah,
Yeah, and it
yeah.
was
I,
plenty of
I re-
experience there.
I remember the Red Door interview. Now that you bring it up, I was like, "Yep, that's what it was."
Yeah,
Because when you messaged me, I was like, "All right, what was the name of the band we interviewed with originally?" And then yeah, I for the life of me, I could not think of it. Like, yeah, so
yeah, yeah. It was a
uh,
few years back now.
yeah. Well, and during that pandemic time, I was doing interviews so much. Like, I was doing so many interviews a day. It was like there was times where I would just interview somebody, and it'd be like I don't remember interviewing you because they were
Yeah,
like one of 7 that day, and it's just
yeah.
like, damn.
We just
So
like pump out the next one, pump out the next
yeah,
one. Yeah,
yep. And that's when I realized, like, yo, you gotta cool your jets on this, otherwise you're just gonna be, burning yourself out, and you're gonna hate this. So,
yeah,
but
yeah. I definitely got to
um,
find that balance.
yeah, for sure. So with Orion, how you feeling under this new persona, kind of like doing your own single thing? How you feeling with Orion right now?
So moving into it, when I first started taking it a bit more seriously, I was a little
Mm,
bit nervous because I'm like, it's not really a project in that kind of scene that people have been doing up until recently. I've noticed actually as a solo kind of singer songwriter style, but I've even come across Nothing Nowhere, and I'm pretty sure he's like a solo rapper, but he gets in collaborations with like Pete Wentz from Fall Out Boy and some of the guys from Under Oath.
mm,
So right now I'm actually feeling quite comfortable and quite good. I think there's definitely a lot of room for diverse collaboration with other musicians, the producers, and just kind of exploring different elements and different ways that we can create this music as opposed to like, here's 4 guys in a room.
yeah.
We know our stuff. We're just going to like pump it out and pump out the next one and pump out the next one. And it's just a bit more free flowing. And so it's been quite a joyful creative experience to be a part of and to be running and just, yeah, it's just amazing.
Yeah, for sure. I 100% understand what you're getting at there. It's just kind of have the what's the word I want to use? The autonomy to kind of make your own decisions and not have to run it through a band or a collaborative. Well, yes, having that collaborative
Yeah,
effort
still having
is,
collaborative, but you have the
but
final say to it, and everyone
yeah,
involved kind of, they're kind of on the same boat as that, and they know what's going on.
yeah, for sure, for sure. Um, so what do you did I? Sorry, my brain.
No, you're
We're
right.
on hour 7 right now, and I'm
Yeah,
scared what hour 21 is going to look like right now. It's like I woke up this morning and I felt so good, and I was like, okay, I'm good. Let's do this.
yeah,
And then
I'm
by
pumped.
hour 5, my brain was like, nope,
Yeah,
you don't need me anymore. See you later. So
yeah, just lots of coffee, lots of tea, lots of energy
yep,
drinks. Keep the water up.
yep. I'm on like glass number 6 of water already, and it's like, great. Now I'm gonna have to get up and pee every 20
Yeah.
minutes. So, but so music wise, you're writing, release. Where I may have asked this already, but where are you kind of at there?
So music wise, so as I said, I've dropped a couple of singles. I've got
Mm,
another single in the works looking at a January release. And then we're kind of, oh, you still there? Yep. And then we're kind of looking, a couple of the friends I'm working with, we're looking at album releasing around anywhere between April and July next year. Doing a lot of work over the summer though, summer for us, winter for you guys coming up
yeah,
because we get that kind of 6-week break there
yeah,
over December and January. So
nice. Do you find that like music's kind of slowing down for you right now with obviously it's summertime, but like it's also Christmas time and stuff. Does music slow down for you, or is it kind of speed up?
I think it kind of speeds up actually. I've actually got a
Okay.
gig next week doing a cover. So I've been doing a cover band as well this year, just kind of keep the stage performance and
Hmm.
stage energy practice up. So I've been covering frontmanning for a System of a Down cover band.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, pretty
That's
intense stuff. Um, but it's I've got that gig coming up next month, and then there's a few open mics around where I'm living at the moment as well that I'm trying to get a bit involved with. You get a lot of the buskers out because sunshine, everyone's doing their shopping, like the
yeah.
Australian heat. It's just it's kind of a magical time for music, really. Festivals, we've got a
That,
lot of festivals coming up, like just good time.
that's cool. That's really cool. It's got to be a fun time. I
Yeah,
keep talking to a lot of people about when the good time to come out to Australia is, and they're like, honestly, anytime between November and January is probably your
yeah,
best time to go.
yeah,
And
definitely.
it's like, okay, I'll
Yeah,
definitely check that out and see what happens. But
yeah.
it, it's as I've learned, it's not a cheap trip to make.
No, it's not. And you look at it vice versa, and it's the same. It's just like, man, you really got to plan it out, budget it out. It's
Yeah,
a lot.
because like you're talking $1,000 alone for just plane tickets. That's not including food or
Yeah.
getting around or,
All the
anything
extra
else.
stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm like sick. I love it so much. So,
Yeah.
but outside of music, what have you been into recently? What have you been up to?
So I've finished my studies. I'm now teaching. I'm now a primary school teacher. So it's like ages from about 5, 6 onwards to ages 12.
Nice.
So I started that full time this year, and I've got my son who's 7 now, and been doing a bit of writing as well, a bit of poetry, a bit of short stories, just keeping the creative flows going. When if music's stumping me, I've got something else to kind of keep my creative flows going.
That's cool. That's really cool. And it kind of one hand feeds the other with the writing, like keeps the juices flowing for the music, but it
Yeah,
also makes it a little bit easier to write music because it's getting thoughts out of your head that maybe don't translate into music.
yeah, definitely.
That's
Yeah,
cool. That's
and
really
just finding all those areas because sometimes you want to write about something, but they say it's not going to go into the song or something go into the album, so
yeah,
got to find somewhere else for it.
for sure. For sure. 100%. So you mentioned that you're a primary school teacher. Do you teach like a specific subject or is it just kind of like general studies?
It's general studies, so
Okay.
a couple of hours of English in the morning, bit of math in the middle, and then you do your geography, creative arts, sport
Gotcha.
stuff in the afternoon.
Fair enough.
It keeps
It's
you on your toes. Has a lot to do.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
What or how old were the kids that you teach? You said
So specifically at the moment, I'm teaching kids between the ages of 8 and 10. I'm teaching like for here it's year 3, 4.
oh,
So,
sweet.
yeah.
That's trying to keep them organized is like trying to keep a band organized, I'd imagine, right?
Yeah. Having 23 kids in a room is like trying to get 4 guys to sit in a room and jam out a song together.
It's like trying to find 4 guys on a same day to go play a gig somewhere 3 hours away. It's like, yeah, that equates. That checks.
Yeah, so.
So, um, so busy time for you. You're working on all kinds of cool stuff.
Yeah.
One thing I want to do here really quick
Yeah.
because it'll be fun.
Yeah.
I have a random question generator, and I am going to ask you 3 random questions.
Okay. All right.
I know we didn't do this in the Red Door interview because I was not doing the random question generator then.
Yeah. That's all right. This will be fun.
All right. So here we go. That's so random. Do you think human mortality is learned or innate?
Ooh. That is a tough question. I'm going to have to go with, at the moment, I'm going to go with innate just because humans haven't experienced non-mortality. Like we don't have any immortals, so we can't really say otherwise. And so it's like, it is quite learned, but we have no other way to know.
Yeah,
as well,
fair.
So,
who is the most interesting person you've met in your travels?
There's one guy who about 10 years ago, he lived in my hometown for the summer, and he called himself Nugget. He was this homeless man. Yeah. Lovely man. Used to sit on the side of the road, belt out songs. The police kept trying to be like, you need to get a house, you need to get this. He's like, I don't want that. I'm happy just like living on the road. I'm happy doing this kind of stuff. And he just
living my best life.
Yeah, he had all these wild tales, and so like the game kind of was like how many, like what parts of the tales are true and what parts did he really kind of exaggerate upon, and just like, but he was a lovely guy, very down to earth, just like trying to live his best life, and just very interesting character.
Nice. And then final question, what is something you're addicted to?
Whoa. Look, I do actually straight up just say music because like when I'm in the classroom in the morning setting up, I got the music going. Like I literally won't even turn my speakers off at home. I walk straight out to the car and it just keeps going. Like it keeps following me at this point and then I walk back in the house at the end of the day and it just connects back up and and then I sleep with it on. I just can't stop with music.
Nice. What when you're in the classroom and you're playing that music, what are you usually playing?
So usually I'm playing it when the kids aren't in, and I actually had to laugh at this the other day. So a couple of my kids have discovered songs about FTP and all that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, oh, you can't be, talking about in class, not school appropriate, right. And then like they walked out for lunch the other day, and I was listening to Fever 333, and I'm pretty sure they dropped the line, like, FTP. I was just like,
Why?
Yeah. How do I justify this?
That's funny. Hey, it happens. So it's one of those things where it's like you try and make I don't want to say a moral stand, but you try and do what's right. And then it comes back around to bite you, where it's like, nope, I'm gonna.
That's it. Look, as long as I don't walk in, like, and bust me listening to that, then it's all good.
100%. But I really appreciate you taking the time to sit down and chat with us. I was really glad that you had messaged me on Facebook. I've been following. Obviously, we had you on with Red Door. I almost said not too long ago, but it's been 3 years.
Yeah,
but I've been following you on Facebook for a bit, and we've interacted a little bit and kind of kept it cordial and kept it moving forward. And you reached out and said you wanted to be involved. So I was really happy with that. And
definitely always want to be involved. Always want to try and keep the community going. And that's what it is. It's connection, it's networking, and it's just supporting.
Yeah. I've said this to every Australian band that we've had on. It's like, since the pandemic, I've really kind of fallen off since like the pandemic's kind of subsided.
Yeah.
I've fallen off the wagon that is the Australian music scene. Because a lot of the once people started going back to work and whatnot, it became harder to book interviews. Like, what's convenient for me isn't always convenient for you, and when and so it's been a little bit harder to book interviews. And then as I started getting back into it, a lot of bands aren't playing together anymore. They're not doing what they used to do. And so it's made it really interesting to be like, oh, hey, I want to go to Australia so I can listen to like, I'm not going to put any of them on blast, but I want to go listen to this band. Oh, they're not together anymore.
Yeah.
Or they haven't released music in a year and a half. And it's
like,
cool.
What do you do? Yeah.
Yeah. So I've been trying to reassess the scene, and this has been really good because it's introduced me to a lot of new projects, a lot of new bands that are doing something. So it's been really cool.
I feel it's been a kind of like a refresher for not just like new projects, but also like, Australia's being flooded with just people coming over here at the moment to do their gigs and whatnot. So it's just been like a refresher for the music scene, but it's also made it hard then to like, because some bands, like for them, it was a hobby over the pandemic, and others like got inspired by it, but like didn't want to do anything till they came out and the world was open. It's like, all right, let's reflect on that. Like,
and then it became like a race to the finish line where it's like, oh, hey, we've got a healthy scene now because we've got a whole bunch of musicians, but none of them have any actual playing experience. So who can get to the finish line for? Yeah. So
that's it.
But really appreciate you sitting here chatting with you. If anybody wants to interact with you on socials, any of that stuff, where's the best place to find you?
You can find me on Facebook under Orion-Originator, or on Instagram, which is Orion_official95.
Awesome. I really appreciate you, Ethan. Orion. I wasn't 100% sure how you wanted me to introduce you, so I was just like, I'm going to go with Ethan. So we'll go with that.
Right. So, building up into the Orion thing, still something I'm also getting used to as well, but I'm going to flow with it moving forward. So.
Gotcha. Well, once again, thank you so much for hanging out with us. Really appreciate you taking the time to sit down and chat. And we're going to play a little musical roulette here and bring in our next guest.
Very good.
Cool. Thank you.
Cheers.
All right. Bye.